film friends, friends of film, and everyone in between. Welcome to the Film Folklore Podcast Summer Miniseries. We are here with our fourth and final movie of the Summer Film Club 2025 before we do a little wrap-up. And as usual, I am Jed Props. Let's see, with me is a very medicated Heather Ray Costumes.
Hey there.
A regular, not medicated Justin Sound.
Wah, wah.
And our summer guest this year, keeping things cool, Collier, POC.
No comment on medication.
You're always
Fair
medicated. All right, so
Prescribed medicine, y'all, by the way.
Yeah.
Prescribed. I'm fresh off surgery from this morning.
she has 5 bottles in front of her. They all have her name on them, I promise.
And I'm not sharing.
Yeah, bummer.
Just kidding. I would totally share.
I just went to my friend Jerry under the causeway.
He also has watermelons. So last week we had fun playing with Justin's Spaceballs. Hey. And today Collier is bringing his contribution to the series with Spielberg's 1991 Hook. And I'm really excited for this one. This was a fun revisit. So enough of my 2 cents. Let's hear it from Collier. Take it away, Collier.
Hey, so I'm super excited today to be on and sort of jump on my soapbox. I think last week Justin touched on, whenever anybody asks what your favorite movie is, you try and come up with sort of a smart answer or dress yourself up a little bit. And I always try to tell people my top 3, and that way when I tell them Hook, it changes the looks that I get most of the time. But whenever I'm like just Hook from 1991 is my favorite movie, people always kind of look at me weird. Assume I'm very childish, which they're partially right on. But I like the movie. It's my favorite movie, to be honest. It's sort of, I feel like I'm coming out a little bit. Normally I'll say Eternal Sunshine or The Lobster, just to really make, for something a little more.
I like the Great Train Robbery.
Yeah. And so no, it's Hook. It's always been Hook. Since I was a little boy, let me just.
Can we simulate some rain and it's just Collier going, it's always been Hook.
It's always been
Just
Hook.
disclaimer, Collier is going to weep multiple times during this.
That might happen sooner than you think.
I feel like it might be happening right now.
Yeah, so let's take you down memory lane. I'm about 4 years old. I'm a latchkey kid. It's 1993, maybe 1994. I'm wearing some pantyhose that my mom boiled and dyed green.
You are coming out.
I sure am.
Yeah.
And I don't remember for sure, but I'm not confident that I had underwear on under the pantyhose, which I put on, hopped on my bike, and rode it down my street, all down the cul-de-sac, and told all of the kids I was Peter Pan.
Yes.
I raised a sword up in the sky, and I felt alive. I
If
felt like I
only
was
there were
flying on the
camera
bike.
phones back in 1991.
How long before someone beat you up?
This was
3
post.
blocks.
This was actually a result. This was a result. This was all a result.
Because
And
they
this
And
is
he was
why-
4, so, come on.
And this is why, since I was 4, I told people my 3 favorite movies were Eternal Sunshine, The Lobster.
Wait for it.
But yeah, I mean, that was even before I could ride a bike. That was a tricycle. I think I said bike earlier. I got to.
Well, you already got me crying.
So yeah, I really thought I was Peter Pan back then, and this was only the Disney cartoon from the 50s was really all I had maybe at that point for my exposure to Peter Pan. I went to my daycare. I during roll call told them my name was Peter Pan. I got sent out into the hall, and I did something bad.
Also known as Neverland?
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, Peter Pan has always been a big influence on me and has led to a lot of identity crises since I was 4. So yeah, Peter Pan has always been a major factor in my life. Going back to that cul-de-sac, I had a childhood friend who owned Hook on VHS, and I think I slept over there maybe once. We watched Hook, and I was over there every single day after that, and I wanted to watch Hook.
Was he your best
every
friend?
single day? No, but Hook was my best movie.
Okay.
Ask me what his name was.
I don't think you know. Was it
I don't
Peter?
remember. I
Was
should.
it?
I feel horrible.
What?
Was it James Cook?
But I mean,
Did he have
I
video
remember
games and you kept saying, nah, but if you have Hook still, I'd watch that.
Play it on a loop.
Do you want to go outside and play football? No, but if you still have Hook,
You should
I'll
totally
watch
go
that.
outside and play football.
Yeah. No football, but if you've got a plastic sword, we'll talk.
Hey, if you're tired of me coming over, I could just borrow your VCR and Hook.
Let's get up on the roof and just jump.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess despite my passion for wanting to live in childlike ignorance, I also credit Hook for showing me how to grow up, because it's not something that a lot of people do right. I think that especially in our industry, we're constantly bogged down by stress, and it turns us into boring, sad adults.
Which is kind of the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching it as an adult definitely hits different than when you watch it as a kid.
And when we do creative things and we're watching things be made and produced all the time, it's so sad when the stress of it takes away the fun.
Mm-hmm.
So watching this made me want to tell stories and make movies, or at least assist in some way. And when I say assist, I really mean assist, because this movie is huge. If you look at all of the set pieces, the cast, the names in the cast, the amount of time that this movie was in pre-production and kind of went back and forth. There's a lot going on, and if it's one of those things where you you throw a dart at a wall, you're going to hit something that you can work on. That makes no sense at all what I just said. But yeah, there's so many things going on in this movie. Every single department must have been challenged. They must have all had some amount of fun. But there's so much going on in this film.
I feel like they really did it right, though, because it is a spectacle, and it does feel like a child's imagination when you're watching it, because there's just so many ridiculous things and, like, things that most adults who aren't in the industry, and some of them who are, don't have that kind of imagination anymore. They've forgotten how to have that childlike wonder, and that this movie visually and in every other way really pinpointed that for sure.
I feel like this is a good time to mention the budget because of what we're talking about. And I have the inflation calculator ready. It is $70 million movie in its time in 1990, I guess, when they were making it. And that is $166 million in today's money. So
Damn.
This is a massive budget movie. So for all those pieces that you're talking about, it better look good for that price. And it does. I mean, it's a beautiful, the sets and everything. I mean, it is a well put together movie.
And of course, we're talking about how well put together it is.
Yeah.
If you read reviews around the time, critics were not very nice about this movie, which of course doesn't match the box office. For instance, it was a success. It was nominated for a few Academy Awards.
And a Razzie.
Oh.
Yeah, it was nominated for one Razzie. It was Spielberg's first. It wasn't for Spielberg, but it was for something in the movie. But it was the first Spielberg movie to be nominated for.
What was the Razzie for, though?
I mean, I don't want to.
You gonna bring it up, Jen?
But I'll just say it involves Julia Roberts, which we'll have plenty to get into.
Oh well, that makes sense. I
am not shocked by anything I read about her on this, but man, is it fun to read? Because wow. We'll get. I'm sure we'll get into that later.
Oh, we will. We will.
Oh, we will.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I guess this whole movie is about memories. It's about experiences. It's about how they define who we are. Our memories and experiences keep us whole and remind us where we are, which is this moment right now. And that really is why I picked this movie. Whenever I talk about this movie to people, Hook at its face value is just a family fantasy, but to me, it's more of an excavation or a deep dive into my brain. It's a movie about trading off everything that we have when we're kids to grow and, I guess, trade imagination for stability. Whatever we think stability is anyway, what society has told us stability looks like. But I think that this job really
and being in film, I mean, we are the outliers in that way. You know what I mean? We at least have, I always say I play make-believe for a living, I play dress up for a living. We're lucky in that regard as film people, for sure.
And talking about how it must have been challenging but also fun at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the whole point of the movie, it walks that tightrope just perfectly.
I was right there with you, Collier. I had not seen this movie since I was a kid. And I wasn't even a kid. I was verging on adult. I was in my late teens when this came out. So, it kind of breezed by me. I know I'd seen it, and Robin Williams, I've always loved him, so I definitely had seen it. But when I watched it, thank you for making me watch this again, because I was
the gun was
weeping.
unnecessary. We were going to watch it anyway. But.
I was weeping through a vast portion of this movie as well. So you're not alone. It really hit. It really, really hit.
I didn't need to watch it again last night before I fell asleep. Just to get an idea of anything else I wanted to say. But instead, I just cried 3 or 4 times before I fell asleep.
Good for you. I don't know. I feel like we are all kind of walking a line and just surviving right now. And there's that. I think it just allowed me to kind of release a little bit of the pressure that's been building for whatever reason. We all have similar overlapping reasons and personal reasons. And it really did give me. It was like it was the last thing before the deluge.
That is something that I was going to say that this is sort of alluding to some stuff that we're going to get into in season 3, but this sort of speaks to what's going on in the state of the industry right now, where you don't see people taking big swings like this. It's just very rare these days that it's happening. Everything's very safe, very calculated, very lame accounting is really what it boils down to. This is the kind of stuff that used to make going to the movies fun. This is what used to make the summer blockbuster fun. And Spielberg especially, he is the if he's not officially, I would say he should be, but Jaws is the beginning of the summer blockbuster, and so he's the king of was the king of the summer blockbuster. And this is back in a time period when you could still get investors on board for wanting to make a fun adventure and everything. And that's what he wanted to do here.
Yeah, and it's not a sequel. It's not really a reboot. It's sort of its own thing.
It's a reimagination.
Yeah,
it's
just
yeah. And they knocked it out of the park. It's great. It's great a reimagining of it.
Yeah. Going back, whenever I watch Hook, I don't just see Peter forgetting that Neverland is real. I really do see myself in a mountain of responsibility and things that I don't exactly want to juggle. But the quest to unknowingly fail with good intentions is strong as an adult, and you see Peter as an adult, a boring, sad adult trying so hard to be available to his kids while also doing what he thinks he has to do. And
the way to do that, to be, and any therapist will tell you, before you can help other people, you have to help yourself. And he was able to find his joy again that he had not had in a really long time. And that's, we were talking about this before we started the podcast, that Harold and Maude and Hook have a similar underlying thing of just being able to get rid of all the bullshit and find your joy as a human again, as a child or just as a person. So, yeah.
Yeah. No matter the age.
We can all find that joy. It was, I found this to be really inspiring. Like I said, it was at a certain time. I might be the first one crying, Collier, on this pod here.
Technically I was crying from laughter earlier.
That doesn't count. But it is, watching it through an adult's eyes, it was very inspiring to me.
Yeah, Peter Pan has always been a metaphor for impulses, ignorant joy, freedom to fly with happy thoughts, and the older Peter is bound to a set of rules that nobody around him really seems or cares to understand. They just see someone struggling and not available to them. And then you have Captain Hook, the sort of superego, the all-discipline, no joy, very militant, and talks about death being the final adventure, and and as far as death goes, the whole suicidal thing that pops up. We'll talk about that a little
Well,
bit.
I feel like it's also like Hook embodies adulthood, the essence of adulthood, and Peter Pan, as we all know, if anybody knows anything about Peter Pan, like is the essence of childhood and childhood joy. Yeah, it's cool. Anyway.
That was something I didn't remember. I should be clear. I don't think I've seen this movie since the 90s, so it's been a very long time. So it was a fun revisit because, in all honesty, my memory of the movie was not that good. And it definitely grew on me watching it this time around. I mean, I can see things that I can see where there were things that I didn't like at the time that I saw it, my age and everything in that respect. But, like, for example, Captain Cook with the whole suicide thing that was kind of underlying. I had no memory of that, and it's a thing. It's definitely a thing, and so that was a little jarring for this.
It was
kind of
surprising.
fantasy. Yeah,
it's not something you'd see in this
also,
without a warning ahead of time.
And also, like, he's totally doing it for attention too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's there's a whole element
It's
there.
like ego.
That's really exactly.
He's
going
bored.
Back to having a big ego.
yeah.
I think the what makes this movie more special than anything else. By the way, there's a big elephant in the room right now, but I'm not going to address it just yet. But there's another thing that ties me personally to this movie, or at least one of the actors in it. But so I'm trying to avoid.
Peter Pan?
No, but I'm trying to avoid talking too much about one specific person. Anyway. Yeah.
We'll
just
get there.
FYI. But Robin Williams.
Who can do no wrong?
We'll talk about Robin Williams. He really is in this movie a stand-in for anybody who feels like they can, be their younger self. Nobody really comes close to what Robin Williams does, at least to me. It's not just this movie, but it's every single movie that Robin Williams is in.
Yep.
There's something about him that makes me think of my dad, and I'm sure lots of people feel that way. Maybe it's a 1990s thing and just that kind of a vibe. But also this movie, with this personal masterpiece, at least how I see it, it as a kid, it helped me understand my dad a lot more.
It's pretty amazing that you had that kind of insight as a child, though. Because, I think that, like I said, watching it as a child, most people are like, they just see the fun of it. They see the Peter Pan of it. They don't see the underlying stuff.
Well, you mentioned the latchkey part to it, so I can see where that definitely plays in. My dad was a workaholic his whole life, and he was one of those. It's that older mentality too of like, I'm working so hard to provide for the family, but at the same time, you don't realize that you're missing out on that time with your kids at the same time. That is exactly what you're seeing in this movie. Down to I love the sending the guy from his work to go and try to record the baseball game. And then of course Jack clocks it, and then, he's like deflating from it. But even, you can see where at the same time, Peter still, of course, loves his family. He's making the effort, but for him to be in all these places at once, it's like you're seeing that dichotomy of like trying to do both things. And you definitely can see that in the movie, and also what you're referring to right now.
Yeah, full disclosure, I'm crying.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's and my dad, while he worked a lot, he was very available, but you always want them more.
Yeah. My dad always was taking naps because he was so exhausted, and he'd always just say he's resting his eyes. That was always his little joke. Are you verklempt? Do we need to?
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Be an adult and push through. I'm just kidding. That was a terrible joke.
There should have been crying in this movie. There's there you go. There's my criticism in this film. I think there should have been some more crying.
There
was some.
Perhaps,
there was crying.
but I feel like it's kind of like letting the audience have it for themselves too, though.
I don't know.
Not like pushing.
You
you don't have to push it. Like without seeing, because when you see somebody crying, you're more likely to cry, right?
Well, the mom at the end when the kids come back.
Yeah.
That's a really good crying scene. That's really good. Very touching.
and apropos.
I cried, so.
Yeah, sure.
But I do agree with you though in this that is something for me. The weak link is it's the story in the sense that there's something clunky about it, that you have all this amazing stuff surrounding it, and I think it's what lifts it up. You know, if there's a weak link to anything, if you know, you're the sum of the parts. But in this movie, you have fantastic direction, you have a fantastic cast, you have an amazing art department, you have all of these elements that the score is great. And you know what? I'll tell you where I got choked up was right when he's having the realization of it's all coming back to him, and that John Williams kicks in, and it's like, damn you, Williams. You got me.
Every time.
But it is something, and that's one of the things I remembered rewatching was that there was, because in the beginning when the play is happening, for example, it is a little confusing because you don't understand what's happening yet. And you're like, wait, I'm watching a movie about Peter Pan, but there's an actual play about Peter Pan and Peter's watching the play. I'm so confused right now.
It was pretty meta.
It was
sure.
Super meta.
It does get explained, but that's what I mean by clunky. Like, I don't know how. I mean, I'm not a writer officially. I don't know how you would have cleaned that up in a way to make it more sense. Maybe there's a different edit or something that hit the cutting room
I
floor
feel
that
like
would have bridged
it
it a little.
explains it in the movie.
You think so? Because
Absolutely.
there were emotional. This is where I'm agreeing
I
with
mean, you have
Collier.
to watch it.
I will say
Yeah.
that was not in the script that I read. I did read an older draft of the
Oh,
script,
okay.
and that wasn't in there at all. So I was like, what? So I don't know when they decided to add that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious what the writers thought on that scene was, if it carried like a metaphor, or if
Right.
it really was just to show older Peter missing his kids' things between that and the baseball game.
Yeah, that's where maybe it was trying to cram too much in. I mean, I think I read somewhere the first cut was, you know, first cuts are always long, but I mean, it was some absurd like 300 minutes or you know, but it's one of those things that you have so much going on. And this is where I'm agreeing with you on the emotional front of it, is that you do feel like you need more weight somehow to balance the emotional payoffs. So, like I do agree. I think there should have been maybe Peter crying, joy, you know, tears of joy, but you know, at the end, maybe having his family reunited, everything's going to be okay. You know, and you do get the joy side of it because he's clearly happy to be back. You know, he's throwing the cell phone, the hilariously dated cell phone. Yeah, I don't know. These are very mild complaints I'm making, but this is where I had mild issue with the balancing, I guess, of it all.
I actually love the fact that he's watching basically himself and doesn't even recognize himself. It doesn't even like ring a bell.
I do think that's what they were going for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that deepens the whole thing. I had no problem with it whatsoever.
And then when they go to London and they get
Yep.
there and she sees Wendy and says, "I just played you in a play," it's like, okay, well, this woman, I feel like maybe should be a bigger deal. Even
Yeah,
though,
they
like,
read
she has
the
whole-
neighbor. I mean, she was based the neighbor wrote all the books, so that it all makes sense in my mind. Although I am heavily medicated, so you know.
He wakes up under that Peter Pan statue at the end of the movie. It's all very much like, this is real history. This really happened. Everybody thinks of it as real, but older Peter is like, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, and the
just
point is
doesn't
that we
remember.
all have that inside us. I mean, that's, you know, it is all real, you know, whether you want to believe it or not, you know.
That's another thing too that this is just occurring to me as we're talking, but there's a lot, depending on the source material that they were pulling from. I mean, there's a lot of iterations of Peter Pan. I mean, you know, like I had forgotten it was a play before a book. Like I had that little reminder. So, you know, so for example, they're watching the play, and then that gets incorporated in as Wendy wrote the play that became popular that now this children's thing is putting on, all within the same, you know, time period. But it's like, if you never had read, seen, or known anything about a previous Peter Pan iteration, this is where it can get confusing. You know, it took me a minute to realize that that's Toodles that's living in the house with Wendy, And
Have you seen my marbles?
Well, you're not,
Right,
you're not
right.
supposed to in the beginning, though. You're not
Well,
supposed to realize.
But if you
who
already
he
know the
is.
story, then they do say Toodles. I mean,
They show the teddy bear.
yeah, but it just takes a minute because you're like, for example, Wendy's siblings are not there, so
Right.
there's bits and pieces that from other versions that are getting clouded in I guess this version of the telling of it.
in the same way that you can appreciate Spaceballs more if you know Star Wars.
I mean, I guess.
Like because I honestly,
It's a standalone.
I was realizing that I don't know if I've ever seen or read I just know of Peter Pan in bits and pieces, and I know a lot of it just because it's so ingrained in.
There's got to be like 12 movie versions,
Right, and just in day to day Peter Pan complex and like this and that Tinkerbell and all of these words and concepts.
More
right?
like Tinker Hell. That was her nickname
We're
on
getting
set.
there. We're getting there.
I also watched the old Broadway
Julia.
play on VHS.
Oh yeah.
In addition to the cartoon.
Oh, was that the Julia Andrews version? Or?
It would be what was her name? Little blonde Sally. What's her name? Nancy?
Mary Martin.
Mary
Was it
Martin.
Mary Martin?
Who am I
Okay.
thinking? I don't know. Anyway.
I think that's you're talking about the one. You're talking about the one that's from like the 60s or something like that.
Something like that.
I think that's the one that my mom used to have us watch when we were kids.
It was more of one of those things that I was forced to watch.
Right. And it's you're watching a recording of a live play,
Yes.
which is
It was a recording of a recording of a recording.
yeah.
Well, even if you haven't seen or know the details of it, it doesn't detract from from Hook. Like you don't have to have seen
yeah.
or know about the details of Peter Pan. I mean, but it adds to it if you know who Toodles is and about the
Right.
marbles and stuff like that. You have a deeper, little Easter egg for the fans,
there's
But
plenty of Easter
even if
eggs,
you
like-
you didn't know, you can still enjoy the movie.
I still want him to get a sequel, just saying, or a spinoff.
Just him?
The way that the movie ends. Mhm. That's just the best.
It's pretty good.
Flying around, twirling around. Another note that some people don't realize is that Spielberg was a pretty, this was early on when he became a dad. So I think that definitely comes through in this movie. And even though, again, critics tore it apart, I never really looked into how critics panned it. I still haven't honestly read too many reviews because I don't really care. I feel how I feel, and I'm happy with that. And so anyway, with that in mind, it's definitely impossible not to find the occasional sign of maybe confession of possible, weaknesses and temptation, whatever you want to call it. Like rewatching it, one thing that still kind of rubs me the wrong way is the mermaids near the beginning when he first gets to Neverland.
Oh, right.
and he
They're giving him
confronts Hook.
oxygen or whatever.
Right, he gets launched off, and but he's like, "Are you enjoying this, or are you just like now you're accepting that you're in this magical place, and that like there are people here that are going to breathe life into you, and that this is a new
I
beginning."
think if you're drowning, you don't really care how you get the air.
Well, no, but he's got a big smile on his face.
yeah.
so,
It's kind
Well,
of like,
I
well,
mean,
if I have
did you
to.
see those mermaids?
I mean, yeah. I actually have that in my notes. Was a question for you on how does the science work in Neverland? Because there are those little moments where I think that's a good
That's
point.
the
that you bring
adult
up.
in you talking,
You know,
Jed.
it's fair. Well, but to Collier's point that he's making, it is an odd scene because of the way Robin is reacting to it. Like you understand what's happening in the scene, but
He's enjoying it.
Well,
He's not in a hurry to
he
get out
still
of there,
doesn't
you know?
understand that he's Peter Pan at that
Which
point.
is-
He's still
So he
yeah.
gets a pass, but at the same time, like it walks that line.
yeah.
It walks that line between innocence and being a shitty adult.
There you go. That's the word.
There you go.
I think his wife would give him a pass to get oxygen from the sexy mermaids
And
if the other option is.
Speaking of getting a pass, well, now we go over to Tinkerbell. Because that is my biggest gripe in the whole movie, especially as a
it
kid.
should be.
Because I'm seeing this guy who I am relating to my dad possibly cheat on his wife with Tinkerbell, who Julie Roberts she performed.
I like Julia Roberts, and I was like, this is the worst choice of casting for Tinkerbell.
Oh,
you could have
Tinker-Hell.
possibly
Tinker-Hell
had
is
Tinkerbell.
There are so many. You'll see that there's so many other women that were considered or auditioned for the part that, in hindsight, and also watching this movie, any of them would have been better. Like I think Winona Ryder was an option, you know, and like, but each one you see, you're like, I would have been fine with that one. I would have been fine with that one. Yeah, like, and then something about her performance. I had completely forgotten about this, but there is something about it that you're like, I don't know.
I really hated her
not
in this movie.
it's
I
not
think
doing it for me.
It would have been better without Tinkerbell.
And then
in
when
this
you
movie.
when you hear about her behind the scenes stuff, and you know, to be clear, we can say allegedly, purportedly, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I have certainly. This is not the first time I have heard rumors about Julia Roberts stuff. I've never worked with her directly. I have worked with her niece, who definitely does these kinds of things. Maybe it's a Roberts thing. I don't know.
I mean,
Although I've
same
heard
about Eric Roberts,
Well,
though, right?
I was
can't
about to
say
say.
anything.
I was about to say. Eric Roberts. Interestingly, I've heard older Eric Roberts is super awesome and
Okay.
nice, and younger Eric Roberts
That makes
is kinda
sense.
jerky. So, talking about Julia Roberts and how great she was on and off camera. Should we get into all the like trivial stuff with her, or you want to
We
do
can,
that later?
yeah, we can jump into Julia Roberts.
I
We
just-
wouldn't be the first.
Oh, wow.
Shots fired.
I didn't even mean it like, but I'm glad I said it.
That makes me so happy. All right, so none of this is shocking just based on stuff that I've heard over the years about her, but there's you said Tinker. Well, we both said Tinker Hell, but let's see. So at one point, Julia Roberts almost put the production in jeopardy when she fled California after her wedding to Kiefer Sutherland was called off. Didn't know that was a thing. She decided to avoid the press by hiding out in Ireland. A furious Steven Spielberg reportedly threatened to fire her if she didn't return immediately. And because Tinkerbell was often in the air, Julia Roberts, this is my favorite, Julia Roberts had an assistant whose sole responsibility was cleaning her feet.
What are they in
Makes
the credits?
sense. Makes sense.
I don't think they're going to be in the credits. Or they're just listed as personal assistant, maybe. Assistant to Miss Roberts. You know, maybe
Foot
that's what-
assistant.
No, also growing
Yeah,
up, by
fuck
the way,
that. I want something epic.
growing
Foot cleaner.
I don't know about y'all, but when I watched the movie as a kid, I certainly thought that Julia Roberts was at least like 15 years older than 23. So that and it still blows. She's just one of those actresses that always sort of looks around 30.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, sorry. There's one more thing about this. This is now a costumes thing. So the whole cleaning the feet thing. So the wardrobe department originally conceived of a much more elaborate costume for Tinkerbell, but eventually went with a more basic tomboyish outfit when Julia Roberts insisted on playing the part in bare feet. So she had to, it's like she's the catalyst for her own horrible.
Oh, I definitely would want to be in the credits as feet cleaner. And
What do you think, Heather? As far as the
Did you not
the
hear
wardrobe
my
choice?
sound? I think that says it all.
Would you like to hear a complete list of everyone else that was an option for Tinkerbell?
Yes, please.
Winona Ryder, Rebecca De Mornay, Sherilyn Fenn, Samantha Mathis, Brooke Shields, Paula Abdul, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Gina Davis, Catherine O'Hara, and Kirstie Alley.
I would have loved to see Cyndi Lauper.
I know.
as
Yeah, that would've been
Tinkerbell.
amazing.
Oh
She already
my
kinda is
God.
Tinkerbell in a
I
weird way.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, there were quite a few on that list that I would have.
Fairies just want to have fun.
And in touching back on Spaceballs and Star Wars from last week, Carrie Fisher actually did a lot of the rewrites for this movie.
Tinkerbell specifically, right?
Yeah, specifically, and which brings me to the next point, which is how amazing would she have been as Tinkerbell?
Well, she was also probably about 40 at that point.
Would've
Carrie
worked.
Fisher.
I would have bought it.
I worked with her
I would've
daughter.
bought it.
She was cool as shit.
Cool as shit.
Unlike
She's so awesome.
someone else.
Yeah, yeah, she's so cool.
She was
Man, she's so cool.
a pleasant surprise. She was a very pleasant surprise.
Talking about Billy?
We were just shit talking.
Talking about
Billy's
Billy.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was polar opposites on the same project, and one was not cool, and one was very cool. Yeah.
They got family in close to Lafayette.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's where the dad is originally from.
oh, right. He was a producer. Yeah.
Might be Alexandria or something like that. Actually, I forget. Somewhere.
No, that's not possible. Nobody important is ever from
I'm
Alexandria,
telling you.
unless you're Jamie Sound. I love you, Jamie. Someone once referred to Alexandria, Louisiana, as the navel of Louisiana, and I think that's a accurate description of it.
Not quite in the right spot, but
Right.
We'll take it.
Geographically, yeah.
Plenty of land.
You have
Yeah.
a lot of lint. They have a mid-city yacht club too, but it's much sketchier, and you don't want to hang out. That is getting way off subject. All right, sorry, derailing. Collier, please continue.
So I guess we've talked about it's getting close to the elephant in the room, but we've talked about let's see, Robin Williams as Peter Pan. We've talked about Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell.
Tinkerhill.
Now let's talk about Glenn Close. She has a really cool cameo.
I saw her name and I was like, wait, where is she in this
That was the
movie?
first thing I thought I saw.
It's
too.
the
I
best.
was like,
Yeah, like I could rewatch her scene a million times.
I
over.
mean,
And I
wow.
have.
Yeah.
And I have. But in addition to Glenn Close, you also have some other really cool cameos. David Crosby plays Tickles the pirate.
If I can say something real quick, when I was watching that, because I was rewatching the movie last night, and as I'm watching the movie and they're kind of going through that scene, I was like, my God, if that bald pirate doesn't look a lot like David Crosby. And then sure enough it was. I was like, holy shit, it really
I thought the
is.
same thing and honestly didn't know this until like an hour ago.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with Phil Collins. I'm like, is that Phil? That's absolutely Phil Collins. He was fantastic.
And
in
Jimmy
it, too.
Jimmy Buffett is also in
Yeah,
there
Jimmy.
and steals a shoe. And I'm guessing that because these are musicians, it has something to do with the pre-production and how initially this was supposed to be more of a musical. We're getting closer to the elephant in the room.
Because, David-
Michael Jackson at one point was
Right. Well, David Bowie was also
David
considered
Bowie
for something.
that-
I forgot what.
an alternate. Yeah. I think he was going to be Hook at one point.
Maybe that's
Yep.
what it was. He was considered for
And
Hook.
yeah.
That all feels like the early 80s thing that you're about to go into.
No, so Elephant in the Room. I used to work for Dustin Hoffman. He's amazing, absolutely amazing. I have nothing but great
Whoa.
things to say about
Bury
him.
the lead, Collier.
That's not an elephant in the room. We all have to know about the elephant, right? to be in the room.
Yeah.
So, a little, I guess, local film history. We are recording in the building that Runaway Jury was partially shot in, and that was, I've said it on the podcast before, but that was my first giant feature film, and I got to work a lot with Dustin Hoffman, and he was an absolute peach. He was a wonderful, wonderful guy to work with.
When I say that when he can be extremely quiet, but you can still hear his aura, like yeah, it's hard to explain.
Al
He's just
Pacino is the
such a
same way.
Magical human being.
Well, he's one of those guys, and you kind of forget it. It's I guess recency bias is maybe a good way of putting it. He's the kind of person that you forget how good he is until you see him in a performance like this, where he just is dedicated to the performance, and he's just so good. He is so good, and he's also the kind of actor as far as in terms of a professional. I think he lifts a set. He brings more levity to it. He has a reputation as micromanaging directors, which I would, after seeing it firsthand with Gary Fleeter, which you don't have to take from me. A lot of people don't have kind things to say about. But Dustin Hoffman, I remember on one of the courtroom days, Fleeter had come in an angry tirade. You know, there's cables I'm going to trip over. Why are we not already rolling? You know, all this kind of, rhetoric. And then Dustin Hoffman comes in and Fleeter changes his tune. He's like, hey, Dustin, good morning. How are you doing? And all that. And Dustin Hoffman, this is the magic of Dustin Hoffman. He just goes, well, thank you for telling me, or good morning, but have you told all these lovely people good morning? And he just turns around where, you got like 50 backgrounds sitting in the rows and the crew and everything like that. And he goes, good morning, everyone. And in magic unison, everyone goes, good morning, Dustin. It was like, just how did he do that? Like that's how he commands
Yeah,
things.
it's amazing when you treat people with respect and acknowledgement of their work. They respect you and will work 20 times harder for you.
There was some asshat
very
that owned a
simple.
kite store, an expensive kites store at Jackson Square, where we were shooting downtown, and it was owned by a lawyer that owned an expensive kite store. I mean, my God. But he was trying to say that we were costing him business or some dumb thing like that. And Hoffman went in and bought the most expensive kite in his dumb shop. So that's how nice and cool he is. And also that jackass in his kite store, long gone, thank God. But I mean, it's just the guy's not only a consummate pro, but he's just a good guy. So
And
I
a
mean,
good
yeah.
family man.
And one
Yeah,
of the best
kids were nice,
character
yeah.
actors ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Anyway, please continue.
No, so elephant out of the room. I'm still my couple years with him were absolutely fantastic.
Were you his assistant or nice?
I started off as a runner and kept on running and started managing a little
good
bit.
stuff.
We
But
could do an entire episode about Dustin Hoffman.
No, I got to be careful. I have nothing but nice things to say. I want to leave it at that.
Yeah, I honestly, I can't say the word. Okay, here's the worst thing I can ever say about him, and this is still not bad. There was a rinky-dink little bathroom in the corner of Stage A before all this got redesigned, and again, Runaway Jury. And I have a thing, like I think a lot of guys do, where I don't like having communication at urinals, like with strangers. It's just, sorry, don't talk to me. But I had gone in there, and there was these two urinals in this tiny, tight bathroom. This guy comes right next to me, and before I see who it is, he's like, "Ugh, hell of a day, huh?" And I'm like, oh, "God, why are you talking to?" Oh God, it's Dustin Hoffman. Why is it?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And this is the worst thing I can say. So I mean, like, the guy is great. He's awesome.
Class act.
Yeah, class act.
His
We love
hook,
you, Dustin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was hard leaving. But yeah, his hook is like an incarnation of just the passage of time. It's a simple misunderstanding that comes with trying to keep track of time. So, that's, I think, my hardest thing to get a grasp of when I watch this movie is sort of the metaphor of time and how each character sort of sees it. And I'm still sort of trying to figure out the character of Hook. And I think, hopefully I never really do. I've always been a little bit more of a Peter champion. But Hook is such an important character who's completely misunderstood because he has his own demons. He just doesn't know how to face them. And that's what makes that character that character. But Dustin's performance specifically, it's brilliant.
They are good story wise. They've always been great character examples of a protagonist and antagonist, and having Dustin Hoffman in the Cook role, I mean, it was very delightful. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like it's called Hook. And he doesn't come into the movie until pretty late. And it's clearly a Peter Pan story. It's not a Hook-centric story. So it is interesting why they titled it that way and build it that way.
Are you sure that he's actually Hook? Well, what I'm saying is that, like, near the beginning of the movie,
all of us Hook?
Well, that's the thing. Hook is
Peter-
adulthood, and Peter Pan is childhood and wonderment.
Yeah.
So
Captain
easy.
Hook is a representation of the version of himself that he cannot change.
Yes.
And now in this world, he's learning how to be the child version of himself again.
Right.
But there's this talk about how he is accumulating other businesses, and older Wendy looks at him and says, "Oh, Peter, you've become a pirate." And that really is, as far as the metaphor goes, is Dustin Hoffman actually Hook, or is he actually just a metaphor for older Peter?
And are lawyers actually pirates?
Yeah. Some of them.
So one thing, a question for you in terms of not just performance, but also in this version of retelling of Hook, how did you like because they still had to play out some of the tropes, so the alligator, the clock, and like these kind of things. Like, was that something that as a kid or maybe in other times of rewatching that was part of the enjoyment for you, or is that more of just going through the motions of the story?
As a kid, I kind of thought the clocks was stupid. I kind of thought the alligator was silly. As an adult, yeah, not so much. It's there's a reason he hates the clocks.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want time to pass. He wants everything to be stuck in the now, where he is the closest one to death. That gives him all of the power.
All right.
Or he resents time, which is why he killed the alligator.
Yeah.
Because time has turned him into Hook rather than Peter Pan.
And the whole false suicidal bit. It's the same thing. He wants to be the closest to death without actually going through it, so that he holds the power. And it's comical, but it's never really been funny. Didn't find it, or it kind of went over my head as a kid.
Yeah,
and
I
then
never
as an adult,
understood.
you're like, wait, he's doing
That
what?
was a negligible character. Was the crocodile? Crocodile, right?
Yeah.
Or is it an alligator?
Yeah.
It's a crocodile. Yeah.
Crocodile. But I think I think anybody who grows up and goes through ego death is aware of time and how it passes and how we don't want it to pass. We are the way to experience the time we live in. That's my personal mantra. He doesn't want time to pass. In the beginning, when Peter gives Jack his pocket watch, it's very special. It keeps track of time, and when that sucker is broken, you get what you get. But Hook really is the voice, always has been the voice over my shoulder that's whispering that time is up, or it's nearly up. And it's hard watching what he does. If he is that metaphor for an older, more sad, evil version of Hook, then the metaphor for Hook kind of taking Jack under his wing becomes just that much more depressing, because what you're watching is Jack losing his childhood. He's no longer a child. He's becoming an adult, and it's sad because he's so young. You're not seeing Hook take him away from his parent. You're seeing him turn him into an adult, turn him into a pirate. So, yeah, that makes for a pretty good villain.
Yeah, I mean, there's a physicality about the way Hoffman also does the role that I mean, again, we could do a whole podcast about Dustin Hoffman, but there's the makeup use, the twitching of the mustache, the bushy eyebrows, the
Hook eyebrows,
the grin, even down we haven't even talked about the Spielbergian touches in the movie and everything, but he's grinding the hook while he has Peter, against the rope, so to speak.
Yeah.
But there's those kind of elements that make that performance. They just add to the performance, I guess, and they add to the weight of the. It's villainry, but it's also because this is ultimately still like a children's story at its core. It's not like scary villainry. It's like I don't know, I can't think of a good word for it, but it makes it fun villainry. I guess.
Playful but twisted.
Yeah, playful. There you go. Yeah.
But also definitely twisted.
Yeah.
There's something like.
Well, and kids die in this too. So I mean, it's not like without its.
He stabs a child.
Yeah, on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they talk about being killed and killing, like through the whole thing too. So
Rufio.
Yeah, they also shoot one of their own men for stealing first, or stealing second, I guess. But during the mock-up baseball game, there's a few. I mean, they allude to a lot of death too in any version of Peter Pan that you're talking about. That all these children and pirates are dying at some point in these wars.
Yep.
that usually is never actually being shown because
and also, sometimes people will start to say that Neverland is supposed to be either heaven, hell, or purgatory, but then when there are people dying there, it makes it a little more confusing. And I don't think they allow mermaids and
Anywhere.
That's another thing that I was a little confused about. There's the only female that I noticed that's meant to be a female, not Glenn Close, is the blonde that's sitting with him when they're doing the mock-up baseball game. And when they were showing her, at first I was like, is that a pirate in drag sitting with him, or is that an actual woman? Because then I started going down this thought of are there adult women in Neverland? And then in the credits, there's all these women listed as prostitutes.
Yep,
And I was like,
yep.
Where did I miss that whole thing?
That was in the beginning when they first.
Yeah.
I totally missed that part.
Have you ever been on a pirate ship?
I mean, you're not supposed to bring on their bad luck. And they're sex workers, by the way. But that's,
Who was?
Not if it's a hobby.
It's,
God bless you, sex workers. You're doing the
it was
Lord's
just
work.
it was just such a random thing that it's I mean, I get it from the pirate standpoint, but there was something about in my, I guess, previous viewings of any incarnation of Peter Pan, I don't remember there being adult women in Neverland. It was always the pirates versus the kids. So it was another thing. That's why my reaction to that blonde was is that a pirate in drag? Before I was like, oh, that's a woman. But it's still some of the elemental stuff that they did, I guess, just to kind of beef up the pirateness of it, I guess.
The biggest parts of this movie that always that I've gravitated towards, obviously, it's the food fight. It's the Wendy's intro when she first comes down the stairway and she's in the shadows and she comes out and you don't know who's coming and she's old. It shows you the passage of time, just yet again. The kids returning at the end of the movie and the mom crying definitely made me cry last night. Hook calling Jack his son, that hits really hard. I certainly don't want to ever feel like any other human being is taking my son under his wing better than me.
Yeah.
That makes me cry. But, especially always seeing him think of his son's birth as his happy thought, definitely drawing the parallel with my dad, it made me think that my dad felt the same way. And now that I've got my kids, that scene certainly makes me cry a river. But more than anything, what hits me is when the little boy gets Peter down on his knees.
Oh my God.
And he
lost
pulls
it.
his face back and says,
There you are.
Peter."
That's where I cried.
I mean, not even just I was like, whoa! Couldn't
That's
contain
where the
myself.
Williams music
all
kicks
of
in.
us, all of us are still in there. We're all in there.
We're all in there.
But sometimes you got to push back your skin a little bit.
That was also funny too in the different ways he's messing with his face, and then when he just finally goes straight back to kind of stretch his jowls back or whatever, and he's like, there you are, and it's just kind of it's as an aging human, it is funny but also insulting. It's is that how I get my kid face back? I just got to stretch everything to the rear.
Yeah, you just take you by the back of the head, shake you, and cut off the excess.
You just get a grip clip and stick it on the excess skin in the neck. That's how you do it.
You go to the plastic surgeon. I'll take a Peter Pan, please.
Yeah, I'll take a Peter Pan.
Lately, it's been all over the interweb. One of the biggest trivia things now is when Peter at the end of the movie chooses a boy that wasn't scripted, or at least it was scripted, but nobody knew which boy he was going to give the sword to at the end. So that's a funny little tidbit right there. But
you mean none of the kid actors?
Yeah, none
knew?
of the kid actors knew who he was going to give the sword to. So that was a really genuine.
Those
special
little
moment.
reactions now, I'm seeing them in a different light.
And Collier, I don't know if you have that in your notes, but I found when I was reading stuff on this, I found a YouTube video. It's the 25th anniversary. It's the Lost Boys as adults, and they're remembering Robin Williams. If you want about 4 minutes of crying, you can go to YouTube and watch that because it is it's great, and it just makes
Play it right now.
It makes you miss Robin Williams, is what it ultimately does.
Yeah, I miss Robin Williams all the time. I don't need prompting.
But it is a wonderful, touching little piece, and those kids are all having fun memories of Robin Williams.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Robin Williams thing, I was trying to keep it out of my head while I was watching this, but it definitely struck. It's like she's not here anymore.
You have to imagine him
in Neverland,
touching your shoulders and saying, "It's not your fault."
And and then just the end of the movie, I want to leave that open to interpretation, whether or not it was a dream. But just a little throwback in the beginning, Moira says, "Coming back to this house, it turns us into kids again," or something like that. So it's maybe it is just him remembering in his mind this entire time. And
and let's not just forget about magic.
Yeah, and magic. I
magic.
I prefer that it's all real myself.
I'll take the magic any day.
And then one of my favorite lines that's rarely spoken is the last word that is spoken in Neverland is when the little boy looks up and says, "That was a great game."
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that really that sticks with me. I absolutely love this movie. I don't love it because this film is perfect. I love it because this film really is me.
That is absolutely beautiful.
It's
and
all
also
of us.
you get an A+ for finding a deeper dive than we had on Harold and Maude. That was I like that we were getting into a lot of the dichotomy of life and love and everything in that, and you did a really good job of bringing Hook down to a really human level for something that we all know is a very fantastical story. So thank you. With that, we are going to wind out today, and we're going to have one more episode that's a wrap-up episode, and everybody will have a chance to mention anything that we didn't get to in our previous episodes, because I know everybody's got extra. But yeah, call it a bonus episode, call it a wrap-up, call it whatever you want, but that's what we're going to do next week, and that's all for today, so thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Thanks, y'all.
Do you like what we're doing here? Do you have thoughts, comments, questions? Maybe you have an idea or suggestion for topics you want to hear about? Well, you can find us on the interwebs. You can email us at filmfolklorepodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on the social medias, Instagram being Film Folklore Podcast. We have a Facebook group called Film Folklore, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, @The Film Folk. And yeah, thanks for joining us today.